Hey guys, this is Stu from Stuart Scale Models, and I'm sorry if it's been a while since I've had a video out. The only one I did the other week was the ramp one, but that's by the by now. Just thought I'd do another update on the 75th anniversary Tiger 1 group build entry that I'm doing, which as you can see is the Dragon 6600 Tiger 1 initial production 502nd Battalion, Leningrad region 42, winter 42, 43, 3 in 1. And well, to be honest with you guys, I've gotten on so much. She's almost done, but the reason I've not done a video for a while is unfortunately I was laid low with a rather nasty stomach virus last week, which kept me off work for the best part of a week. My first day back was today, Sunday, and would you believe it, as from tomorrow, Monday, I'm on holiday for a week leading up to Telford. So, not great timing, but hey, or maybe in some respects as regards the hobby. Yeah, she's come on really, really well, guys, so much so, here she is, almost done. Almost done. As you can see, she's well and truly muddied up, as a lot of them were during that time. Get the light down a bit better. You can't quite see here. Okay, there we go. I was going to put her on the turntable, but I thought, nah, I can't be arsed. As I say, she's virtually done now. I've done all the weathering on her, as well as some a dot filter, which has actually toned down the white quite significantly, because I mean these things did get extremely muddy and crap was thrown at them through all the winter period. And I've enhanced it with a few sort of shell hits and some rust, which I used AK's rust effects, with a little bit of thinner just to sort of enhance all the rust flowing down, because this thing would have been out in the field in all weathers, if you know what I mean. And as you can see, she's heavily chipped. I've also added some pastels at the end of the barrel to give it the sooty effect, and on the smoke launchers as well as the old back here, although it's not that noticeable now, is the old exhaust shrouds, but she's silted up with a bit of more mud now, as you can see, and I've caught it on the back of the actual turret bin as well with the rust effects. And I mean, you can't see it on the camera here, but I can see it. I can see where it's sort of got the slight streaking going down with the rain, etc. Now, what I used for the weathering process, I actually did a dot filter first off with some oils and some thinner, and then just basically streaked it up and down just to get that streaked effect after giving it a matte coat. And then after that I enhanced all the battle damage a little bit more with some rust effects, using AK's rust effects again with a bit of thinner. And then once that was done, it was the beginning of the weathering process, which I started on the lower hull and just basically used Tamiya's light earth, as it were, and also on the wheels. The tracks, well, I did them in a slight dark earth as well, and then after that, once that was done, the next process of the mud was basically to use mixed pigments, which I did, and just dabbed it on all around, and also on the tracks themselves. The running wheels I left just as they were, covered in light earth, just to give it a little bit of sort of contrast, because obviously a lot of the mud used to get kicked up in these wheels and it would dry up and then you get mud over that, as you can see here. Then after that it was a case of using some thick mud, which I did, and then once that was dry, obviously I put the pigments on afterwards. Sorry, I was getting myself muddled up then. And also the same with the tracks. I did the same process with the tracks because I wanted it to tone in with all the tracks on the actual diorama, so it would blend in. So what did I do next? Oh yes, after that was done, which took about 24 hours to dry properly, and then I did the mud splash effects. Now what I basically used again was not only Vallejo's thick mud, but I also used my Vallejo's splash mud. Now admittedly I could have used the Russian one, but I'd done it and it was beyond the time of repair, so yeah, because their mud is a little bit darker, but I'll probably do it for the next build that I do, which is based in Russia. But it's all a learning process. You live and learn, you know. And I did a little bit of studying on the photos of how muddied up these vehicles would get from Tiger in Action, which you saw on my previous updates. So I let that dry for a good couple of hours, and it did have a nice sort of sheeny, wet mud effect on it, which I wanted to sort of create, which I think you can notice on these rear mud guards here. So that's that really. I've touched up where the ammunition things are, because obviously once I did the soot effects with the exhaust shrouds, it just went all over that, so I just thought, well, I'll just go over it again. So that's that there. So yeah, all I did as regards to splash effects was basically load an old toothbrush up and then just go along with it and just flicker it like so, and along the back as well. And I'm not kidding you, it's just amazing what such a simple effect would do on these splash effects. I mean, it does look in scale, and it actually graduates the mud and muck up a little bit more. It gives it that tonal variation, which I was very, very pleased with. I did touch up the helmet, because obviously that's supposed to be one of the crew's armoured helmets. I mean, I will be chipping that up along with the figures that I've got on their helmets, just give it that sort of worn effect. But overall, I'm very, very pleased with the way she's come out. And then obviously tonight I put the tracks on, and yeah, I did cheat a little bit. I actually used some super glue with a little cocktail stick, put it in there and just pressed it down, just to give it the effect as though it was sort of sagging, because these things are made of pure steel and they're very heavy. So that came up really, really well. I was very pleased with that. And then the last thing I did was basically use Vallejo's thick mud and dab that on with a paintbrush. And there we are. This is the end result effect. But the only thing I've got to do on this now, to blend it in with the winter scene, I've just got to put the snow on the various parts of the tracks and maybe a little bit on the wheels, and then she is done. And she's ready to go onto the actual diorama base. So basically, guys, this is going to be the last update, which is update 5 before the final reveal. Now, I'm not promising, I'll tell you, it might be this week before Telford, or it might be just after. It's either one of those two. So the final reveal will be very, very soon, because I don't think, to be honest with you, there's much more to do on this now. As I say, I've just got to finish painting up the various detail painting on the figures, which is almost done. As you can see here, they're almost done. I did various aspects on that, and then I'm just going to clear coat them, put highlights on them on the uniform, and then do a dark dirt wash, remove that, matte coat it, and then they're ready to be placed, well, the crew ready to be placed into the vehicle, and then the figures will go on the base. Okay, so we haven't got much more to do now, really. And with me being off this week, well, we could get it done by the end of this week. We'll see. So basically, guys, that's where I've got to at the moment. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the end. And I'm not kidding you, I've really enjoyed this. Okay, it may have taken me 3 months to get this thing finished, but we're nearly there, guys. So, depending on my schedule this week and how things turn out, we may well get the final reveal possibly this week, but I'm not promising. If it's not before Telford, then it will be afterwards. And I just want to put a little message out to a personal friend of mine. Jen and her boy Kai, who aren't very well at the moment. They were planning to come over to Telford. I don't know if she's told anybody else, but I might as well tell you now. Unfortunately, she's not going to be well enough to come over. So she sends her regrets to you all, and all I will say, Jen, is that we all wish you a speedy, and Kai, a speedy recovery, because unfortunately they're laid low and they're not feeling very well at the moment. And to be honest, the way they are at the moment, it's very doubtful they would be able to travel over anyway. So hope you feel better soon, hun, and you, Kai. And we wish you all a speedy recovery. So there you go. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. Until the final reveal, which will possibly be this week. As I say, I'm not promising you. It could well be after Telford. But to be honest with you guys, I can't wait for Telford now. It's only just under a week. So, yeah, it'll be here before you know it. And if you're there and you should spot me, come over and say hello. All right? I'm always amenable and I'm always chatty. So there you go. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. So until the next time, get kit crazy, happy modelling, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.